Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call this meeting to order. I declare that we do have a quorum. Mr. Heverly, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay, item 4 on our agenda, we're going to have an installation. This first thing, Mr. Nick Grant, our municipal judge, is going to install Marley Abel, our new mayor. Nick Grant, our municipal judge, is going to install our new mayor, Marley Abel, first before we do anything else.
Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Marley Abel, do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States
The Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma,
And the Constitution of the State of Oklahoma.
and that I will not
And that I will not
knowingly
knowingly
receive,
receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable thing
for the performance
for the performance
or non-performance
or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to my office
pertaining to my office,
other than the compensation allowed by law.
other than the compensation allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as Commissioner and Trustee
as Commissioner and Trustee
to the best of my ability.
as the best of my ability.
Next, we'll have the swearing in of our new chief police, John Owens, by District Judge Kyle Waters.
Please raise your right hand. I, John Owens,
I, John Owens,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and obey
that I will support and obey
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of Oklahoma,
of the State of Oklahoma,
and that I will not
that I will not
knowingly receive,
knowingly receive,
directly or indirectly,
directly or indirectly,
any money or other valuable thing
any money or other valuable things
for the performance or non-performance
for the performance or non-performance
of any act or duty
of any act or duty
pertaining to the office
pertaining to the office
other than the compensation
other than the compensation
allowed by law.
allowed by law.
I further swear
I further swear
that I will faithfully
I will faithfully
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as Chief of Police
as Chief of Police
of the City of Sallisaw,
of the City of Sallisaw,
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Marley and John. Item 5, discussion and possible action on removal of any item from the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes. Item 8 is to recognize retirees Steve Paget and Terry Franklin. I think Steve has already been recognized, so we want to do Terry next.
Yeah, just, sir, if I may, just very quickly, in public recognition of Steve's service, he couldn't be here tonight, 30-plus years of service to the community. Again, just want to take a chance in public to recognize that service, the quality, and the time that that young man is given to this city, as not only a volunteer firefighter, but also everything else he's done for the city. We are sorry to see him go. And it's an end of a cherished and very storied career, as I'm sure most folks in this room could probably mention a story about Steve Paget in one way, shape, or form. So, sir.
All right. Terry, would you like to come up? Got that?
So Chief Franklin has been with us for, almost just as long. 37 years. He's served the city of Sallisaw, from patrolman, and just like you'd like to see, start at the bottom and work your way to the top. So Chief has been with us for quite a while, and has served with dignity, honor and respect. It is not easy to replace that much experience. I know Mr. Chief Owens will do his darndest, but you know, in the Army, we had a phrase: "The big green machine keeps moving." But that doesn't say there aren't bumps in the road when we lose this much experience and this much contribution to the city. Mayor?
Terry, thank you very much for all you've done for our department and all of our officers and all the service you've given. We appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Speak.
Well, they probably can't hear me, but it's been an honor to serve the citizens of South Hall. That's, like I said, I've actually got 38 years in this job, been here at the county. But it's been an honor to be to elect the chief of citizens. I think that we got a good guy that's gonna fill my spot. Well, actually, I know he really is one of my lieutenants. And I think we're in good hands. I think we are one of the best police departments in this side of the state. And that put us up against anybody. And I'd like to thank the council, the mayor, and the city manager for all your support and all my years here. And I still love this, and I love our community. Thank you all.
We appreciate the service of Terry. Great job. Thank you very much. Item 10, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest the cemetery CD with local bank for 245 days at 4.05% interest.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 11, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest the Sallisaw Reserve CD with local bank for 245 days at 4.05% interest.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 12, discussion possible action to cast official ballot for Brady Moore, City Manager Stillwater, Cody Rose, City Manager, and Michael Shannon, City Manager Guyman, for 3 positions on the Board of Trustees of the OMAC Group, each for 3-year terms commencing on July 1st, 2026.
Gentlemen, I don't know any of these folks personally, but it comes down to that they're the city managers of towns of like size, obviously, except for Stillwater, and Stillwater has actually agreed to help us out. I'm actually going up there on Wednesday to talk about a solar program.
I'll make a motion to accept these nominations.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 13, discussion and possible action on ordinance number 2026-04, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 14, Article 1, Section 14-103 of the Sallisaw Code of Ordinances by repealing Section 14-103 of Chapter 14, Article 1, and adopting and enacting a new section of 14-103, Chapter 14, Article 1, to the Sallisaw Code of Ordinances and declaring an emergency. This is pertaining to abandoned airplanes at the airport.
Yes, sir. So what this is it actually allows the FBO to give final disposition of the aircraft and to either scrap it, sell it, get what he or she can, as the case may be. Currently, it's a he. After specific steps are followed in the ordinance. So this isn't a, hey, we're going to take your plane. It's after it sat there for quite a while and racked up fees. So that we didn't have the ordinance that we currently have doesn't take it all the way to final disposition. It just says we can charge fees. George, am I missing anything?
No, I think that's accurate. You know, we've had some planes out there for 3 and 4 years that are inoperable. And, the whole intent is to make sure that what's out there is operable, and we're putting our best foot forward by the service and the facility.
Was Tom okay with this?
Yes.
FBO was?
Yes. This has gone through the Airport Planning Commission Advisory Board, excuse me.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-04.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
I make a motion for emergency clause.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 14 is discussion and possible action on ordinance number 2026-05, which is an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances by adopting and adding section 82-207 to Article 5 of Chapter 82 and declaring emergency, and this is pertaining to manufactured homes.
Yes, sir. Gentlemen, what this does is our current ordinance does not allow, it doesn't allow manufactured homes in residential areas, residentially zoned areas to be replaced. This change allows that to occur if it is inherited or obtained through an inheritance. It has to be, there are certain restrictions, has to be replaced with a manufactured home that's no more than 3 years old. And it has to be replaced with the same size or larger and done within the first building permit that's received. If the building permit expires or if the home is sold, then it has to be replaced has to be removed and cannot be replaced. And we think, correct me if I'm wrong, there's in the neighborhood of 20-ish properties that this applies to. No? How many? 30. Give me a number. 80? Okay. So there's 80 mobile homes in residential areas outside of mobile home park, or excuse me, manufactured home parks. Where there he is. Sorry, sir. I keep messing that. I keep messing trailer homes, manufactured homes. I'll screw it up until we're done. it's not intentional. I apologize. But again, right now the ordinance does not allow for those to be replaced. This changes that and allows for them to be replaced through inheritance.
I don't understand that. If I have a piece of property with a mobile home on it, I sell it, that mobile home's gotta go?
Yes,
Why?
because it's a residentially zoned area. So it's meant to have a fixed structure on it. So, and what we're doing is we're grandfathering. What this does is it allows the grandfathering to continue. So a law was, this original ordinance was passed in 2010, that said you may not replace it. So the intent at some point, the intent was to not allow these to be replaced. And for those, once the property is sold or an individual passes, that manufactured home is removed and a permanent structure has to be put on the property. What this does is allow that grandfathering to continue. So if I'm living there with my son, I pass, I leave it to my son, he can continue living in that and then replace it when necessary. But under the current ordinance, that thing would have to, the manufactured home would have to be moved within 30 days.
Gives the opportunity to improve the neighborhoods and improve some
Mhm.
homes that are in disrepair or aging out. Remember, we talked about this last month.
Yeah.
that
Plus,
we would-
it allows somebody to be able to replace their home if they can't afford to build.
Right,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what allows it to go on, to happen. Yeah.
But the goal is to improve the
I'm not about
appearance.
that. I can't afford to build a new home.
Yeah. Planning Commission was on board.
Yes, Planning Commission passed this unanimously. Recommended it, unanimously.
Looking over it over the weekend, my biggest thing that I have the problem with is number one, that they either be the same size or they go bigger. I don't see a problem if we go smaller. If they're a family of 4 or 5 and their kids grow up like mine and move out of the house, I don't need a double wide no more. I don't see the issue with going back to a single wide. Or if you're starting family that's got, starting a family and you need a bigger house, then yeah, go to a double wide if there's adequate land there. So, that's number one I think is where I have the problem with this one. I think they should be, if the property's there, they can go up and they can go down. I don't think it needs to be the same size or, bigger,
But would you say that you're in agreement with it being newer or 3 years old?
Well, originally I wouldn't even went 3 years old. Originally I said if it needs to be a new house.
Mhm.
If they want to go 3 years, that's still pretty new. I'm okay with that.
Mhm.
But like I said, if you and Megan are starting a family, you in a single wide, you need to go to a double wide.
Mhm.
you know, or if your kids leave like mine did,
Mhm.
I need a downsize. I don't need a double
Sure.
wide anymore. You know, that's where I have
Hmm.
that's my only issue with it right here.
You got anything?
So we could, if you wanted to, we could accept this with that change. And then that would be the change that goes into the ordinance finally, but that is entirely up to you gentlemen on how you cast your
I'm
vote.
good with that.
Well, it would
part.
have to be incumbent upon too, the lot being the right size to accommodate
Yeah.
the home.
Yes.
And so that would be the caveat in the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, you know, if it doesn't fit, it don't fit,
Yeah.
you know. But like my in-laws have a double wide. So, I mean, they can go to a single wide because it's going to be smaller,
Right.
you know, but,
I'm on board with that. Make a motion.
you know, that's kind of my biggest concern.
I'm not hung up on the size. I
No,
mean,
I'm not-
just
I'm on
whatever,
board.
it's common sense, whatever fits your need, that's what you need.
I'm just, as long as it's newer.
Do you want to say anything?
Well,
Sir, you want to say anything?
I think you guys are on the right.
Okay.
I just, I mean, I'm fine with that. I'll
Does-
jump on that wagon.
Does
but
code agree with this?
Yes, that'd be fine.
Okay.
I just don't like forcing them to sell and build the house.
Mhm.
Well, I don't think it's, I think the way it's worded is if you sold it to somebody else.
Yeah,
If
if
you
you-
sold that property and you don't own it no more, then that
Mm.
person has to build a house.
That person has to
Did
build
you
a house.
not just explain to me if my son inherited it?
No, if he inherited it, he can continue to replace it.
Yeah.
If you sell it,
It's
then
only sell.
the grandfathering stops at
Right,
the sale.
New
Yes.
owner?
Or the expiration of an initial permit, which is 180 days. Is it? Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you apply for a building permit and you allow that permit to expire, so 6 months later,
I feel
then
better.
it's got to be,
I feel better about that.
you can only build on it.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's only if you sell that
To a third party.
to somebody
Got it,
else.
got it.
So the motion would be with an amendment that we do not require a certain size of home.
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah.
I'm good
Yeah.
with that.
Or strike the restriction of same size or
Mhm.
bigger.
Strike the restriction, same
Okay,
size.
I'll make a motion. We approve ordinance number 2026-05, striking section 82-207B1.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes,
Martin,
Yes. Emergency poncho?
Oh.
Emergency.
Sorry. Make a motion for the emergency clause.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
yes.
Yes. Item 15, discussion and possible action on planning commission case number PC 2026-002, rezoning request from one family residence R1 to highway commercial and commercial recreation district C4 by Billy McHenry and Patty McHenry and ordinance number 2026-06, which is an ordinance amending the zoning map of Southsaw and declaring an emergency.
So Mr. McHenry's intention is to use this as a parking lot. Possibly in the future, maybe building a building on it. But with it zoned the way it was, he wouldn't be allowed to use it as a parking lot with it being zoned residential. So that is the reason why he is requesting for the rezone.
Planning commission, okay?
Yes, they did approve.
They recommended this.
This
That's
is,
amazing.
this is the property just south of where the hatchery is.
Yes.
Okay.
Whose house is this, or is this Billy's, or?
I don't remember the name on that house.
How far are we gonna be from that house? Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
just from this picture, it looks like you're in the backyard.
It's a pretty good distance.
Pretty good distance.
Yeah, what
Also,
What
keep in
road is
mind,
that?
this is off Highway 59, so
Right.
it would meet the commercial. It-
Yeah, so
it'd be
there's
blocked
no,
by trees.
there's no access to the parking lot from 59. You've got to come up through the hospital, that road that's right beside the hospital. Or is
No,
that,
he-
that's
he's
not
got an
accurate?
entrance off of 59.
Okay.
He built a
Okay.
road.
Is this going parking lot for your plant over there? Okay. But it's not like this picture. We're not in this guy's backyard or, okay.
No,
it's
it's
a
quite a
pretty
bit.
good-
farther back.
I just looked at this picture, I was like,
And it is just a parking lot. Yes,
okay, so you're just doing, we're just zoning all of it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's you, buddy.
I make a motion to approve planning commission case number PC 2026-002 and ordinance number 2026-6.
Second.
Bailey?
Yes,
Moody?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
with an emergency clause.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Bailey?
Yes,
Moody?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Item 16, discussion and possible action on ordinance 2026-07, which is an ordinance amending chapter 18, article 3, section 18-64 of the Southside Code of Ordinances by repealing section 18-64 of chapter 18, article 3, and adopting and enacting a new section 1864 of chapter 18, article 3 to the Southside Code of Ordinances and declaring emergency and its installations that adopt to the National Electrical Code.
Yeah, this is basically an update from a current ordinance that we have on the books, where it's modernizing it, bringing it more into line with the 2023 electric code that the state has adopted. We've just made some verbiage changes, added some additional requirements that the code will now be requiring us to install, like a disconnect before it goes into the home. All of these are safety features that are going to be mandated by the state anyway, and all we're doing is pulling it in together in our current ordinance to make it basically mirror what the current, what the new standard is going to be.
Is this gonna affect the people that already build them?
No, it'll only affect the people after you pass it. So right now, we're still underneath what we currently have as an ordinance, and then once you pass it, then it will bring everybody up to code. Most all your electricians are doing this anyway, because, I mean, they have to. That's the way the code dictates that they do things, that they have to follow that. We're just bringing our code up to match what the state currently has in place.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 2026-07, amending section 18-64 of chapter 18, article 3.
Second.
Moody?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
yes,
Martin?
Yes.
And I make a motion to approve emergency clause.
Second.
Moody?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
yes,
Martin?
Yes. Item 17, discussion and possible action on ordinance number 2026-08, which is an ordinance amending chapter 18 of the Southside Code of Ordinances by adding article 12, ADA standards for accessible design by adopting and incorporating reference to requirements of Title III of the Americans with Disabilities Act and the implementing regulations at 28 CFR Part 36, establishing local accessibility standards for public accommodations and commercial facilities, providing for enforcement, providing for severability, and declaring an effective date for ADA.
So bottom line is we're accepting the ADA reference, the 2010 standards, by reference. Most of the requirements of the ADA code are built into our current building codes, but there are some, i.e. parking spaces, numbers, size, et cetera, that are not specific in there. So what this will allow us to do is enforce those requirements as building code violations, not as ADA code violations. The DOJ enforces the ADA Act. So this allows our inspectors to make sure everybody's playing by the rules without involving the Department of Justice, basically, and having it more on a local level.
So this will be stuff that y'all go back and look at businesses here in town?
Yes, it'll give us the authority to go in and enforce what the ADA is saying needs to be done. There are some, inclusions and exclusions that the ADA does in the 2010 version. We'll have to get everybody completely up to speed on that, so that we make sure that we're not doing more harm than we are good. But
And there are exceptions. If you met the, was it 2008, 2003 code, then you
Yes.
don't have to meet the 2010 code. So there's a lot of, we have to do a little bit of study and make sure we have our stuff straight as well before we go out and
yes,
Start looking at
but
this.
everything that would be new construction, we'll have to follow this to the letter
Right.
once we do that.
And it is, outside of the building code, the parking spaces things included in the ordinance. It's a quick reference. A builder doesn't have to go look it up, what the requirements are. It's in the ordinance.
Good. Make a motion we approve ordinance 2026-08.
Second,
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. What are we doing? Declaring an effective date? Hmm?
It's just.
It's in the ordinance? Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, number 18, discussion and possible action on administrative policy 1.019.00, Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA complaint policy and procedure.
So this is a companion complaint policy procedure. So if there's a complaint, if a citizen or a resident has an issue, or even a visitor has an issue, they can come in and file this complaint for us to go ahead and look at it. And again, we are not enforcing the ADA code specifically. That is the Department of Justice. These are federal rules, federal regulations, federally enforced. We are enforcing building codes. And that's fairly clear in there. And nothing stops anybody from going straight to the Department of Justice. This is just a local solution if they would prefer that.
I'll make a motion to approve administrative policy 101900 ADA complaint policy and procedures.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martin, yes. Okay, number 19, review of the utility rate information and ID exchange form held on March 26th as presented by the city manager and received public comments concerning the utility rate information ID exchange form from forum attendees. A 2-minute time limit will be allowed for those speaking regarding the forum. Mr. Heberly?
So, sir, I'll start off by apologizing to everybody. I was wrong. The question came up about the marijuana tax. Marijuana tax does not go specifically to youth and rec. It is the hotel motel tax that goes directly to youth and rec. The marijuana sales tax is the only piece of the marijuana sales that the city gets, and that is rolled up into our normal sales tax that we receive. So that was my mistake. I was wrong, and just wanted to set the record straight before we go into this. Gentlemen, what we did is we conducted approximately a 3-hour forum. We talked about audit numbers versus the budget numbers. We talked about the other chart as to why we do transfers. We used the walking penny chart that you all have seen during budget to talk about why the city has always operated with utility transfers since utilities have been provided by the city. We talked about the rate study findings and the actual increases, not 45%, but we talked specifically to electric. But we did talk about actual increases, both Salas saw and forecasted what GRDA has done over those same 4 years. We looked at the increase effects on 3 sample households. And then finally, we had an idea exchange and discussion about certain possible solutions, not even wholesale solutions, but possible steps the city could take to offset some of this. And we'll go quickly through this, education events. We talked specifically about vampire loads, if people knew how much vampire loads cost and what they actually were and how much certain utilities, certain appliances used, that would be helpful. We talked about a senior plus an income threshold, discounts, question of what the threshold was, what the discount should be. We talked about our solar policy. I mentioned earlier, I'm going to Stillwater Wednesday to talk to them. They have one and have been using it for a while. Got some questions and just really doing a benchmarking tour with them. Our goal is to bring that to you all late summer, fall, for a proposed Salisaw solar policy. We looked at the rate study, doing another rate study, timing of a rate study. We talked about on and off peak pricing and the fact that we would have to have a year's worth of data in the new AMI meters before we could actually look at on and off peak pricing, and to give us an informed decision as to what those times are. Anything short of that year would be a guess. What we recommended was, hey, OG&E has 2 to 7 o'clock April through September. And that for us, that would be an absolute guess. So because we don't have the data to back that up. Also made a commitment that if we do a rate study, that rate study will be talked about in a public forum similar to what we did on the 26th, prior to bringing it to you all for voting and for adoption. So there'll be plenty of opportunity for the residents to not only see it, learn about it, but also ask questions and have the same pitch or the same briefing that you all would have. Talked about efficiency survey teams, a checklist level pilot program. It's not, and to use to gauge interest. A new version of equal pay that would be average billing, not equal pay, but an average billing. The question there is, can the system do it? And right now, Cassell can't qualify. It can, but it's a tremendous amount of work so far. We've got to sit down and work through what exactly that looks like and how much it would take to actually do it, and put it into place. And this would not be our current equal pay. It would actually be a running average of your bill. So for instance, if your this month's bill kicks in and it averages over the last 12, that 13th bill 13 months ago falls off, and your new average is based off this month plus the last 12. Okay, plus the last 11, excuse me. So the bottom line is, some residents feel that in their situation, they must decide between utilities, rent, and possibly medicine. The challenge is to find a sustainable solution or solutions for as many people as possible that keeps the city moving forward. So we did have the 10-minute time allotted, 10-person, 2-minute time allotted. No one signed up. So with that, barring any questions from you all.
No one signed up?
Nobody signed up. We made an announcement prior. So it was,
Ladies and gentlemen, please.
Sean is on the agenda. He's on a separate agenda item, as is Ms. Mannon. They're on a separate agenda item. For this agenda item, you had to have been present for the meeting. We made an announcement prior to. The sign up sheet was back there until after the chief was sworn in and after Chief Franklin was thanked. And nobody signed up. So at this point, is there anybody that attended the forum on the 26th that would like to talk for 2 minutes?
We got one.
Ma'am, were you here on the 26th? Not for the last council meeting, for the 26th. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Come on, if you want to. I don't want to make.
My name is Jerry Kistler. And I was here for that. Can I go ahead and start?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me tell you what I do know. Right now, my bills are under control. But I woke up in December and I had a $900-something bill. I do have an in-ground pool. It is a 30,000 gallon pool, so it takes a lot of water. I had not had it running for 3 months. I had not used the AC or the heater because the weather was nice in December. So my surprise, whenever I open it, it's like $958 for my water and utility bill in December. There goes Christmas. And I call them and I'm like, listen, we have a problem because there's no way that this is correct. I've been paying bills here for 6 years. And they try to tell me, no, ma'am, you have a leak. Your electric's bad. This. She said, you used 100,000 gallons of water. You have a pool, correct? And I said, yes, I do have a pool. It has not been running for like 3 months. So I pull out all of my utility bills and I lay them from January because I am a bill hoarder, from January to December, and the numbers were way off in black and white print. So I highlight everything and I call them back and I'm like, listen, I have found the discrepancies and this is an error of the city and there is no way that I can pay the $900. Well, I will pay the $900 because I always pay my bills. I pay $700-800 bills all the time. I have a big pool, but this one's not correct. And I said, and if this is what's happening to other people in the city, that really does upset me. You know what I mean? Because we as a city cannot afford bills like that for no good reason. And then for no one they didn't even want to listen to us about the situation. They just immediately were going, oh, well, this is the problem. Oh, well, it's not something that is on our end, it's on yours. And I'm telling them, no, it's not. So I lay it out and I call them back and I tell them, I speak to the lady in billing. And at first she would not hardly hear me. And then whenever I kept explaining my situation, not super friendly, but not rude, she finally kind of heard me out and she was like willing to listen to me. But it took a lot to get to that, which is not fair to the people. So I explained my situation. I told her, I said, ma'am, I have it in black and white right here. I said, I can bring the bills up there and show it to you personally. And she did go back and talk to whoever she talks to, and we did get it settled where I ended up paying half of that bill that month. But I'm here today because if there's discrepancies like that going on within the city and all of these people are suffering from it, that's not fair. And then we come up here, we show up. Nobody wants to hear us out. And we call, and nobody wants to hear us out. And when we call, they're so rude to us. And I don't understand why things are happening like that. And I do know that these people don't deserve that. And numbers need to be reran and looked at per these bills because there is something actually wrong, or we wouldn't all be standing here today because we want to be at home with our families. We trust you guys to run the city. And then if we need to be here, we do. But I can tell you that there is something that is actually wrong. And I don't know if that's accidental. And if it is, accidents happen. That's totally fine. But things need to be looked at and we need to be heard because $1,500 bills are not normal.
Yes.
Anybody else who was at the meeting on the 26th that wants to speak? Sir?
Oh, Philip.
I'm sure most of y'all know me. Me and my wife went to every meeting. And
Getting closer.
me and my wife went to every meeting. We went to the special meetings and everything. When these rates come up and y'all had the woman come and did the rate study and all that, what she suggested, y'all didn't even go with. And I told each one of you, when she had suggested go up 3% on the water, that y'all had went up 33%. I went around to every one of you. And all of you said, no, we didn't. And then you come back and say, we had to. I've been a city commissioner, and I had to go to the same class that every one of y'all went to. And the organization chart for the city is we the people, the city commissioners, and the city manager. And somewhere along there, you've lost it.
Yes.
I'd like to know, I own my own home. If I can't pay my electric bill and I can't extend it anymore, so I can't pay it. I can't live in that home without utilities, so now where am I gonna go? Do I just give my house up? What are we gonna do with us, bunch of old people? Just sit us out in the middle of the street because we can't afford to pay that electric bill? We can't afford to move, can't afford to go rent a place. What are we gonna do? Where am I gonna go? I'm not the only one here that is in that position. So does anybody have an answer where we're gonna put us people? And we can't live in our homes because we can't afford the electric bills?
I don't care.
Thank you.
She was at the meeting.
Oh, was it? I was here for that last year. I just want to say enough's enough.
Ma'am, what's your name? Oh, ma'am, what's your name? Brenda what?
Ma'am, I didn't mean anything by that. I'm sorry. Anybody else?
It had to be at the 26th meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Or sir, I'm sorry. It was mentioned before the meeting, sir. I'm sorry. I can't. Yes, everybody watches it online. I can't say that.
You announced it at 5:30.
It was 5:40, ma'am.
I wasn't here at 5:30.
Well, okay.
And it was out there and you walked past it.
Hey, guys, he stood back here.
So who is here? Who is here at the meeting that wants to speak? Who is here at the meeting that wants to speak? Okay, thank you. Sir Penny, any question? Gentleman Penny, any question?
We will move on to item 20.
Thank you.
Thank you, speakers, for coming forward and giving your opinion. We're going to move to item 20 now. We're going to hear from Mr. Sean Ralston regarding reduced electricity rates and utility bills and discussion and possible action.
Gentlemen, a small change. Ms. Mannon is going to speak first.
Yes, when I signed up, this was before you guys had that open forum here. And I had called Mr. Josh and I told him, I said, sir, if you don't mind, can you put me on the agenda? But I want 2 open slots for 2 other speakers, if that would be okay. And I think Josh would, I don't lie, I tell the truth. So, and I'm putting Miss Manning right here. She's gonna go before me and then I hope to knock a home run here.
I hope so.
All right, here we go. Good evening, guys. My name is Melissa Mannon. My husband and I have lived in Sallisaw for nearly 14 years, and during that time, we have purchased 2 homes, ultimately choosing to retire here. Sallisaw has truly become our home and harbors what I consider to be an impressive sense of community. Recently, however, it's become increasingly clear that this is no longer the case. We're being forced to seriously consider putting our house on the market because of the rate increases in our electricity. The powers that be made this decision without consulting our individual monthly budgets and have put those of us on fixed incomes in a position where they will have to choose between having electricity or buying groceries and medications. We need you to hear and understand our truth. Our truth is that we are not living in a rage over this decision. We are living in absolute fear. You may not realize this, but what you've done is create a panic in this city. Every bill that we open is terrifying. Because is this going to be the bill that's going to do us in? Are we going to be forced out of our homes because of a utility bill? I can assure you this is not a matter of trying to keep the house at 65 degrees in the middle of summer or 80 degrees in the winter. Usage, usage, usage is all we hear. You're using too much. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're being forced to sit in the cold and the heat because we are terrified to turn our heaters and air conditioners on. Then, what about our medical equipment, okay? That must be plugged in 24/7. I am personally on a feeding tube that is literally life support for me. It has to be plugged into an electrical outlet, okay? I'm supposed to be on 24/7 feeds. I do them 10 hours in order to cut back my time, okay? What about our seniors that require oxygen? Are they going to be turned off to keep their usage down? Quick question. Oklahoma summer is coming quickly. How many seniors will refuse to turn on their air conditioners in the triple-digit weather that's coming? Who's going to be responsible for those deaths? How many Sallisaw families will be made homeless because 5 people said, let the people pay? Let the people pay. In case you're not aware, Social Security, which most of us live on, gave us a $54 increase this year. $54. We're supposed to pay $1,000 electric bills with $54. How is that possible? We are nobody to you guys until Election Day. But here's the thing. We are somebody. I'm an elderly disabled lady and my husband is a disabled veteran. But we're more than that. We are the people who vote at every election. We are the people who shop and buy everything in this town to support this city. That's who we are, okay? Now, that being said, we trust that the people that we elect will have our best interest at heart. Well, you have failed us, okay? Not only was this a very poor decision, but also, where's the heart? Where are your hearts? You have literally sealed our fates and are basically running us out of town because it's not a matter of whether we choose to stay and pay, because our truth is that we cannot pay. $54 isn't enough. My husband and I shared a booth with an elderly couple during a meeting. I looked up and saw tears running down that lady's face. And I said, ma'am, are you okay? And she said, no, ma'am, I'm not. My electricity is getting shut off in the morning. Our checks were not big enough. We can't pay. We're depending on God to provide for us at this point. Okay? This is our literal security that's being threatened. Everything that we have worked our entire lives for. And these seniors that we're talking about, guys, they're the seniors that built this city. Okay? They built this city. They were here long before you guys were here. All right? I implore you to re-examine things and to come up with a solution that benefits everyone. That's what you were supposed to do in the first place. That's what you were elected to do. And I pray that you take my words to heart today when you make future decisions. Thank you.
Wow. Policies have consequences, and I hope you guys are seeing that. I tell you what, I was brought up, man, I'm a Christian, and I was taught that before you make a decision or go into battle or have a fight, you need to get on your knees and pray. That's what I did, and I'm going to tell you, my prayer has been, Lord, help me to help the people of Sallisaw. Guide me and show me what you want me to do. I'm no leader. I'm not asking for fame. I'm not asking for nothing, man. But I want to help our people, and that's what you guys should be doing. Josh, thank you for putting me on the agenda. You've always been good to me, and I appreciate you, sir. Mr. Bryan, I didn't agree with everything he said the other night, but I'm going to tell you what. I admire you. You done the right thing. Since I've been coming to these meetings, I've been in Sallisaw. This makes the second time I've ever seen this city allow people to come up and speak. You don't solve problems with less speech. You build relationships and solve problems with more speech. And you got thrown to the woods, but you done the right thing, and I admire you for that, sir. That night, I asked you 6 specific questions, and I asked them for a reason. But the last question is the one I want you to concentrate on. I said, sir, I raised my hand, you called on me. I said, is that the military golden rule? And you said, well, that's what we use to make decisions. Is it cost effective? Will it work? Does the third question answer the first 2? And I ask you, sir, as I go through what I feel God has given me, that you look at it through that lens. If you grant me that grace, I'd greatly appreciate it. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
Just stay loud, please.
Looks like we got a lot of people here that are concerned about the high electric rates. We got problems. I believe God has given me the solution to this problem. Right now in Washington, D.C., we have a very friendly pro-energy administration. They have encouraged manufacturers and towns to generate their own power. They have even cut the federal permit process from years to weeks. In the short term, we have got to renegotiate with GRDA. The people cannot face any more of these rate hikes. We need to lower them, not raise them, period. We need to produce our own power. I have researched the Fort Gibson Power Plant. It burns clean coal and natural gas. It sits on 66 acres and powers 800,000 homes and businesses. It burns more gas than coal. The technology has come a long way. We can build a plant a quarter of that size on 10 to 20 acres. It would produce enough power to serve between 25 and 35,000 homes and businesses. The population of Sallisaw is roughly 8,800 people. If we produce that much energy, the city would only use a quarter of that. Listen to this close, guys. The rest could go into battery storage and to the main grid, expanding customers and earning revenue for the producer. That would be the city. With the extra revenue, you can take the burden off the people and invest in infrastructure, roads, schools, and medical care. It would provide low-cost energy, bring in businesses, create jobs, lower the cost of living, maybe even a Costco or a Chick-fil-A, and that ain't no April Fool's. It would promote an economic boom. How long to build? 1 to 2 years. Mr. Bryan, there's your 2-year notification to GRDA right there, buddy. It could even take 1.5 years at the right contractor. Not the guys who built the water park, God, no. It also depends on what technology. Part clean coal, part natural gas, just natural gas. Also foundation for hydrogen, battery storage, etc., etc. Location. West end of BRD. Why? All the infrastructure is there. Electric, water, sewer, KCS tracks. Across the street, you have AOG gas access. West toward McKee Hill, you have GRDA high voltage lines to tie into to move your excess power to the main grid. If not there, the west side of Farm Road. Or if you did not want to mess with the clean coal and you wanted to just use natural gas beside the water treatment plant, the sewer plant. There's gas lines right in front of there, and the high voltage lines run right beside it. It would be nothing to tie into it. And guess what? That property's for sale. What a coincidence. Cost. How much is this going to cost us? Depending on what design and technology, under 40 million to 100 million. We don't know till we get a plan drawn up, so we're just throwing up straws here. How do we pay? That's a lot of money. That's a good question. The federal government, USDA Rural Department provides grants, loans, loan guarantees for towns and nonprofits to establish, that means build, modernize, or expand electric utilities in rural areas. We're a rural area. They have funding for energy projects and lowering energy costs for populations under 20,000. We meet criteria. They have $9.7 billion in funds with a B. They also have funds for startup costs. They'll help us build it and fill our gas tank up. Can you believe that? That's right nice of them. I believe this can fix our problem and helps our town for future generations. I hope the city can see the same vision as I do. This is a golden opportunity for our city, for our town, and the surrounding area. If the city rejects this vision, I plan on going before the Cherokee Nation leadership and showing my research. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled we are Indian territory and tribes are sovereign nations. Other tribes have taken over their power grids on their lands and now provide low-cost energy to their people. Examples, the Navajo and the Northern Cheyenne, they're doing it with solar. Now here's the part you need to really listen to. Federally recognized tribes possess the sovereignty to regulate, that means they write the rules. Produce, that means they can make it. Manage, they say where it goes. Energy on their own lands independently. That means Oklahoma City can't tell them, and the city of Sallisaw can't neither. If the tribe steps in, the best case scenario, they will build a plant and sell electric to the city at a low cost to help the people. But the days of high profits will be over. Their tribe will not allow people to be overcharged. The government should not be a burden to its citizens. You cannot tax your people into prosperity. The first role of government is to protect its citizens, and the city needs to protect its people from these rate hikes. We have enough tribal citizens in this town and area to lobby the tribe for help. They listen to their people. They help the people. Once the tribe figures out they can produce low-cost power, cut their operation costs, help the people, and still make money, they won't only build in Sallisaw. They will build in all 14 counties. Then the other tribes will take notice and they will build on their tribal lands. And finishing up, This city leadership can be rock stars. We can solve this problem. We can be an example for the rest of America on how to lower costs. You will have other states wanting to know how you guys did this. If you do the right thing, we could have the lowest energy rates in the state of Oklahoma. I do not want to be part of the problem, but part of the solution. But at the end of the day, whether you guys fix this or we lobby the tribe, the ones who win are the people of Sallisaw, because their cost of living will go down, and we should put our people over profits and put Sallisaw first. Do you guys hear your constituents? These are your people. Do you have any questions? Because I'm more than happy to ask. Anybody got a question?
I got it all wrote down.
What?
I said, I got it all wrote down.
Do you want to know something about operation costs? Do you want to know something about interconnection from one power's place to another? What do you want to know? I've done my research here. And I tell you what, I hope you take my warning, because I got one hell of a presentation to present before Cherokee Nation if you guys don't listen. If you guys have no questions, thank you for your time.
Well, we'll move right along. We're going to have to finish this meeting, so we're going to go to item 21. Discussion and possible action on I can't talk over all of you. I am talking to the mic, but seriously, you're going to have to quieten down, folks. I'm being respectful. I'm being more respectful than you are. Thank you. Item 21, discussion and possible action on audit engagement letters with Jana Walker, CPA, PLLC of Woodward, Oklahoma for fiscal year 2026 audit services and landfill calculations. Robin?
Yes, Title 17, Section 17105 of the Oklahoma State Statute requires the city and its related entities to complete a yearly audit of its financial statements. The objective of the audit is for the auditor to express an opinion of whether the city's financial statements are fairly presented and if they conform to the generally accepted accounting procedures and regulations. So we have, before you hear, this is for Jana Walker. She's the one that completed our audit and our single audit and our AUP for the landfill last year. And so we would like to continue services with her for this year's audit for fiscal year 26. Her fees are $42,000 for the audit for the landfill calculation. Single audit's $5,000, and the assurance and post-closure assurance is $3,000.
And just so the public knows, this is, we are mandated by law to have an audit firm audit our books. That's
Yes.
correct. Okay.
I make a motion to approve audit engagement letters allowing Jenna Walker to complete fiscal year 2026 audit and landfill calculations.
Second.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Marks.
Yes. Item 22, discussion and possible action on letter of engagement for professional services with R.S. Meacham, CPAs and Advisors, Clinton, Oklahoma, for consulting services related to financial matters of the city of Sallisaw.
So a few years back, they made some changes to the government's accountability office, the Yellow Book standards, and it required the city to prepare year-end financial statements that were going to be presented then to an auditor, or we could contract with somebody to prepare those. So we had used Meacham in the past for our auditors, and the city agreed to use them in preparing the financials at the end of the year. And this is who we've used for the last probably 6 or 7 years. So the staff would recommend approval of this, and their services are for not to exceed $25,000. And then if anything throughout the year is an hourly rate of $50 to $250 an hour.
Okay. This hasn't changed. This is
No,
like
it has
last year.
not changed.
And that is the budget item.
Yes.
Make a motion, we approve the engagement letter with RS Mutual.
Second.
Thank you.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 23, discussion. Thank you, Robin. Item 23, discussion possible action on purchase order number 108511 issued to Techline Inc. of Texas in the amount of $34,311.30 for the purchase of various size electric poles.
So gentlemen, this is obviously just a PO for electric poles, but it is more than I can approve on my own. It is already budgeted for. This is not any extra. It's just more than I can authorize on my own.
I'll make
these
a
going
motion to
some-
approve
Are these
purchase
going
order.
somewhere or just?
This is replacing the poles that we've put up since the storms, since the last couple windstorms. It's been a rough winter.
Good. Make a motion to approve purchase order number 108511.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. Item 24, discussion and possible action on purchase order number 108512 issued to Phillips Construction of Southsaw in the amount of $28,640 for the construction of a building pad for the Southsaw Animal Care Facility expansion.
So this is the first, I'm sorry.
No, you.
So this is the first step. We've got to build the pad before we can put the foundation down. It's included in the $200,000 you all have already approved. But again, it's more than I can approve, and this was the lowest of 3 bids.
Was
Do you
it
have any questions? Yeah.
the shell price, the big difference?
The shell price?
And
No, I think it was hauling fees that was the main difference.
Huh?
One had to haul, their shell pit that they haul from is 15 miles away to where this one is about a mile.
Okay.
So it was just, I mean, your fuel cost, that it makes a huge difference when you're hauling material.
What's the timeline?
He says he can start, within a week of this being approved.
And this is gonna let us house what? Is this for the cats?
no, this is the $200,000
Yes.
put up the steel building that was donated by Milton.
Oh, okay.
So this is the 40 by 100 building that we'll put up. Again, the $200,000 gets the thing erected, and then we'll have to go into next year. It'll have to compete as to whether or not for HVAC and the actual runs and all that good stuff. But yes, this is the
Remember they
large.
donated that building to us.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so the pad will be actually, much larger than the actual 40 by 100 building, so.
And the animal care facility currently has a cattery. They can hold.
Yeah, it's just,
okay.
I knew it was a little one. I
Yeah.
just knew we talked about making it bigger later on
Yes, sir.
down the road.
Putting this up will allow us to expand pretty much everything we do out there.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we still taking animals
Oh, yes, sir.
from other
Yes.
cities?
No, not that I'm tracking. Do we?
No, we're not typically taking them in. We, whatever the city wants us, which I'd say usually other cities want a euthanization is what they want.
Okay.
So,
And that we do.
So soon we ran this by the.
Oh, yes, sir. Yeah.
So I feel like this might be the night.
Okay.
Motion?
Make a motion, we approve purchase order number 108512, the amount of 28,640.
Second.
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, receive an update on economic development and grant activities.
Thank you, gentlemen. First of all, congratulations to this council and the community. I'll just tell you the incentives policy that was passed by this council and the planning commission has allowed us to enter into negotiations with some projects that were high center. And so we've got a draft agreement to Jordan and the city manager, and hopefully it'll lead to 2 more retail options for the city. One's been announced already in previous meetings, Bell's, which will fill a retail gap. It's kind of exciting to have more options to shop at. Congratulations also is in order to the ODVA. I think, you guys are maybe aware, but they have passed their federal survey. So that'll allow them to open up initially to 50 to 60 residents. They've already got the staff on hand for that and a full ramp up. Just as a reminder, that's $12 million injected into the payroll in this community, payroll that's injected in the community. And so 275 jobs to 300 jobs with an average pay of $40,000 a year, which exceeds their household median income. That's how you start moving the mark, right? You always hear me talk about economic development being a team sport, as you all are aware of, and this community is aware of. That would not happen without this council, the SIC, the Cherokee Nation, Mr. Raymond Merrill. Lots of people came to the table, worked together in order to get us a top rate facility, and so that's exciting. Congratulations to the Boys and Girls Club. Mr. Moody, as you're well aware, they're going to have a groundbreaking for their new gymnasium. Once again, another project that comes together because entities work together. Cherokee Nation, National Bank of Salisaw, who am I missing? Salisaw Public Schools. I don't want to leave them out.
Yeah.
Big participants. Boys and Girls Club was able to secure some grant funding, and they'll have and the city manager doesn't want me to leave him out.
Not me, the city.
The city, yeah,
City,
yeah.
yes.
The city is definitely part of that. So, yeah, just for that to be able to break ground on the 22nd after the chamber meeting is spectacular. Now, just to be fully transparent, they're gonna do some more fundraising. We'll get most of the way there, but we're not quite there yet. So you'll see some stuff out there that's they'll be raising some funds for the Boys and Girls Club specifically. Diamond Days will be coming up. We received a Walmart Spark Good Grant in the amount of $5,000 for that. What we love about that festival is it's free to the community. Everybody can show up, and we're supported through that. The city's acted as a pass-through for that festival for several years now, and we're proud to support that. Also, Oklahoma Arts Council grant, we were awarded today. We received notifications. We were awarded $4,250 for it. The Land Water Conservation Fund grant, the City of Salisaw was awarded $550,000 for it. As you're aware, that is in the National Park Service's hands. We're waiting on them to give us final clearance. Once that happens, we'll start construction of some soccer fields out at the sports complex, paid for mostly by grant funds. So that's exciting as well. With Diamond Days, also this year's the Bassmaster Classic. It's going to be held at the new park there on South White Mission. The Cherokee Salisaw Landing. The Bassmaster Classic is going to draw collegiate and high school teams from across the country. So we'll be able to present our community to people who normally wouldn't see it. Chamber's doing an exceptional job of getting some packets together, showing those people what kind of food options, services, what kind of goods can be sold here in town, places to stay. Cherokee Nation, if you've not seen that facility, has done an absolutely wonderful job. It's going to be a great draw for both Salisaw and buy-in. TAP grant, as you guys know from previous meetings, we've applied for that for sidewalks on the east and west side of 59 South Kerr along Ruth Street in front of the school. That's on hold along with the T-set. Both those entities are kind of in a struggle right now to kind of get that funding out the door. As soon as we hear something, we'll let you know. We're getting ready to apply for a JAG grant for the police department. Hopefully we'll get about $25,000 out of it. I think I'll let you guys know about a learning lab that was scheduled through NORA on April the 23rd. That's been canceled. And lastly, Skylar in my department has been doing some training for grants through Management Concepts. It's kind of the gold standard for grant funding. That's the standard for anybody who wants to apply for grants. That's where you go to be trained. And so she's completed that, and there'll be a certification on the last part of it. And that's about it, unless you have some questions.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, George. How about an update on current and future projects?
The only thing I have to report on will be the AMI project. Those, of course, it's on hold right now. UTS is still trying to schedule the next phase of installations, and we're awaiting the delivery of some meters. All other information, I believe the city manager's got in his update that he'll give you at the end of the meeting.
Are you gonna talk about the portal?
Soccer fields, things like that.
Yes.
Okay. You're gonna talk
Which
about
portal?
for the meters.
Yes, I can do that.
Yes. So, but that's all I have at this time.
Let's talk about it right now because it's actually not listed in my
Okay.
in my
So
notes.
I was
but-
asked a question about the portal
So-
that we were talking about. Go ahead.
So we've had our first meeting with a company that can do that for us. Looks really good, but it looks really good. So we're attempting to set up meetings with 2 other providers to compare those. We still haven't gotten a quote or a proposal from them, but we expect it to be high. But it's slick, honestly.
Is that for the?
For the AMI
customers?
meters, so the customers would be able to see what they use, how much they use. They can set they can set spending thresholds. They can do all that kind of stuff through the portal. That's with this particular company called Aquahawk. It was slick, but slick
Pretty
usually
pricey.
means pricey. Again, we haven't received the proposal from them, so I'm still cautiously optimistic. But we still do owe you at least 2 more companies that can do the same thing.
And that is designed to help people track their costs.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And again, my goal is late summer, early fall to have that out. If I can do it sooner, great, but it will probably be a line item in the next budget, given the cost I expect it to be.
Keith, anything else?
The only other thing that we're doing is getting, meter pricing together for some future things. I've had some discussions with the electric crew. They are looking at doing some self-contained, systems. So we're just awaiting for UTS to give us the quotes on that. We'll be able to probably present those to you at budget hearing so that you know what you're dealing with at that point. If you like, we can continue talking about like the soccer fields or so on, Brian. I mean, we're still awaiting.
We're waiting on the Park Service. Bottom line for the Park Service, we're waiting for their final declaration, their final say. All of our cultural surveys have come back good. We are literally just waiting for them before we can go out for bid.
I checked 10 days ago on April the 3rd, and they didn't have an update for a timeline. So we're just playing a waiting game now, and it's tough because we're all excited to get it built and going. So.
Yeah. And, Les Walters and his crew are working diligently to make sure that, everything is operational, testing all the equipment and everything at the pool, so that you can have a great Memorial Day opening for the new aquatic center.
As long as Marley's ready. First one down the slide.
Thank you.
First one down the slide. All right, thank you.
Robin, would you like to give us an update on financial status, please?
I'll give you your sales tax update for March. The sales tax was 660,000. That's an increase of almost 18,000 from last March. And the use tax was 59,000, which was a decrease of 17,000 from last March. So it's a wash. At the end of March, we're 9 months into our fiscal year, which is 75% of our budget goals. For general fund, revenues are 76%, expenses are at 69%. SMA revenue, taxes are at 76%, telecom 67%, sanitation and landfill 80%, electric services are at 75%, water sewer is at 90%, total revenue for SMA is at 82%, and the overall expenses is at 60%. And staff is just working on budget, and again, reminder for May 19th and 20th for the retreat.
Thank you. How about administrative report, Mr. Everly?
Okay, sir, quickly, upcoming events, 11 May is the next board meeting. Spruce Up Salisaw is going up this week, so if you see guys knee-deep in ditches or scraping, cleaning up some ditches along some major highways, that's what we're out there doing. There is a Keep Oklahoma Beautiful event for volunteers. We're also taking volunteers if you want to help clean up. Friday, we'll be out at Brushy Lake. Diamond Days, we've already heard 1st and 2nd of May, all day on the 1st this year. So we've actually expanded it to a 2-day event. Come on out, and there's a lot of good food that day, Friday. I heard the kids don't have the school day off, but so it's an adults only afternoon on the 1st, just because the kids are in school. Okay, don't take that the wrong way. See some of y'all. Okay, the contracts have gone out for water customers. We expect to start getting those back again. I use CPI plus 1% as an increase for our water customers. We have received and are currently under a consent order for the wastewater treatment plant. We had too much copper and zinc, just copper. It says zinc, but it's just copper above the allowed amount. We've busted those allowances once in the last year. The requirement is only, I use that term in quotes, but only to conduct an engineering study to find the source of the copper. This has been an ongoing issue in the city for the better part of 5 to 6 years, at least. but we are in talks with some engineering firms and some funding sources to pay for the engineering review. This is not drinking water. This is absolute sewer water. So there's no issue with drinking water whatsoever. This is again for the wastewater treatment plant, and copper coming into the plant is high for us to treat. We need to find the source of it. If there is a single source, and or engineer a system that will allow us to treat it and get it down into the standards that DEQ requires. We talked about the soccer field. The bidding is open for the basin liner. I believe that closes end of this month or the beginning of next month. 30th. So it was the end of this month. So we'll have the bids for you in May to decide on. The pool is scheduled to open Memorial Day weekend. We're training staff. We're also taking applications for lifeguards. Those are both adults and young adults. I know we've had a steady stream of teenagers come through. And we're excited to get that going again. We're cleaning, as Keith said, we're cleaning the pool, getting the chemical systems ready. There were some things as we go through it that we're finding that were, I'm going to say, jerry-rigged for display purposes, if you will, that we're now finding that weren't hooked up correctly for long-term use. We're getting that changed. We're getting those rewired to make sure that they work correctly. And we're working through our contractor to do that. Starting on the 21st, you'll be able to reserve RV spots at Brushy, pavilions at parks, and other city facilities online through our website. That is a rollout, a normal change that is free to us as part of our Civic Plus subscription. But we're excited about that. A couple of the ladies have put a lot of hard work into that. Our rebranded Diamond Net has hit a snag, to put it lightly. We're taking a relook at that. We hope to have that out here in the couple coming months. There's some financial considerations that we're redoing some of the work, and we're going to scale back, not the offerings, not the speeds. The speeds will all be the same. But some of the additional software we were looking at, the subscription prices are prohibitively high for those. And the initially briefed, pitched profit margins were based on some very rosy outlooks that I personally don't believe will happen. So we're going to scale those back, but we expect to have those out here between June and July. And then again, Spruce Up Salisaw is going down. The crew is out there working very hard. Looking at the weather, we're probably going to lose Wednesday, but we are out there working in the ditches, trying to get stuff cleaned up around the neighborhoods. You'll see crews out jetting out tin horns. Like I said, scraping ditches, cleaning up tree lines, and trying to get some of our drainage a little bit cleaner so that we can handle some of the water that we obviously weren't able to handle last year. Pending any questions, gentlemen, that's all I have for my update.
Question? Pancho? Okay, item 29, we're going to have a discussion of possible action to convene an executive session for the purpose of conducting the review of the performance of and contract negotiations with the city manager as authorized by Title 25 Oklahoma Statute 307B12. And Mr. Pace is not with us tonight, but he has recommended we do go into executive session. So can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second,
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Sparks.
Yes. Marty, would you join us, please?
Second.
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Possible action direction pursuant to executive session. Proceed as discussed to address in May.
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay. That kind of, that nails it down, then.
Huh?
Is that good?
Yeah, make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Moody?
Yes.
Martin?
Absolutely. Did you read number 9?
Number 9.
Oh,
Which one are we on?
yeah, go back to number 9.
The Board of Commission, City Commissioners, regular meeting, number 9.
Number 9.
Skip 9.
Oh. All right, we'll go back to number 9. Recognize Ernie Martins for his service to the community during his tenure as mayor.
Okay.
Mr.
So
Brian?
again, sir, publicly, we have a certificate for you. We'll get up here and do this official so we can get it dressed. I apologize for how I'm dressed, sir.
You should be.
I chose to eat dinner instead of getting a shower. You know, it's my bad. I got priorities. I didn't get like this by missing meals. I do smell pretty bad too.
You ain't gonna starve to death.
Sir, so what I'd like to do, I know the crowd's gone down, but what I would like to do is, and this is just a horrible token of our appreciation, but it is one nonetheless of the past 8 years of service you've given to the city. I know it always hasn't been unicorns and rainbows. And more importantly, what we sometimes look beyond is we're just looking at you, but we don't see the impact and the sacrifice, and the impact that sacrifice has had on your family. So we thank not only you, but we thank your family for the services you've given us, as citizens of the city for the past 8 years, and wish you all the best in the future. And again, just a very small token, it says in recognition and sincere appreciation of your dedicated years of service as mayor, your exemplary leadership, unwavering commitment to our community, and tireless efforts that made a lasting positive impact on our city and its citizens.
No celebrity certificate or
No, well, it did come from Kim, I'm sure she's got one or two.
Before you take a picture, could I get all the city employees to come up here with me? You can do whatever you like. I'd like all the guys to come up here with me, please. Everybody that's in the room, I'd like you guys to come up here. Because nothing happens without our city employees.
Mayor Chris Carter wanted to be right next to you. I do.
He's over
Get in there, boys. Get in there. Get in there. Go, 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 go.
Shooting thing.
Get in there tight. Get in there tight. Please. 1, 2, 3, smile. 1, 2, 3, smile.
I didn't know where to look. I've had the distinct privilege of working with all these folks, and I appreciate you very much. Thank you so
Well, I didn't go anywhere today.
Me too.
I hooked you up.
That was a joke, you know.
Turn that heat up. Go turn that heat
Well,
Go turn that heat up.
I got two on in my birthday.
I'll cut your pay.
All right, I think that puts us in an opportunity for a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Oh, this meeting, yes, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I thought everybody's getting ready
We
to
got
go.
2 more meetings to go yet, so.
Hey,
Who wanna?
Oh, second.
Second.
Moody?
yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Martin?
Absolutely. That'll put us right into the SMA meeting. We're gonna call that meeting to order with a quorum. Need possible action on minutes of regular meeting of March 9th, 2026.
I make a motion.
Second.
Moody?
Yes.
Mendiola?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes. Item 4, discussion possible action on contract for engineering services between Neil Harville and Associates PC and the South Salt Municipal Authority for water treatment plant improvements holding the pond liner.
So this is the engineering piece, the engineering contract for the liner. Scott's been doing a little bit of work. I got out ahead of my skis a little bit. Scott's been doing a little bit of work before technically having a contract. So this brings us back into compliance with the way I should have had it operating to begin with. I was under the misconception that some of the work that he'd already done in previous years meant that he already had a contract. That was in fact not the case. And so I'm correcting the mistake.
This is in our budget?
Yes,
general
sir.
line? Okay. Make a motion, we approve the contract of engineering service with Neil Harbaugh and Associates.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Discussion number 5, discussion possible action on lease agreement between the Southall Municipal Authority and Kyle Waters and JP Wickett for the use of the rodeo grounds, and authorize the city attorney and city clerk to finalize details of insurance. Kyle, you want to say anything about this?
Just here for questions, basically JP and I were tired of taking our doggers to hour away to barrel race, and we thought if we got a perfectly good arena up there, let's get it used and bring it a little to the city too. We're not looking to make any money, just save our pocketbooks from having a crowd and bring some people to the city.
That's good.
And this does not interfere with the
No.
Lions Club rodeo
Yeah,
events.
It's
So
6-week series, so we do it every Tuesday for next, starting next Tuesday, and we'll be done long before. We'll probably actually help them out, because we're gonna get a few things done out there beforehand.
Yeah, and I think I just asked Kyle this. I think going forward, we may spin this off into a Lions Club junior circuit or something. And because I view it anyway as an advertisement. You know, you want to get younger people in, so they'll continue to watch as they get older.
And it is adults too, it's open, which is your adults as well as the juniors
Yeah.
and teens, so.
But we don't have any, we don't have a junior barrel, for our rodeo. So this would be a way that we could satisfy some of that. So I think going forward, and that would change this, because then it would fall under the nonprofit portion of the Lions Club going forward, get rid of that. They could be on our insurance, wouldn't have to purchase additional insurance. There's enough Lions Club members, I bet there's help out as well, so. But it's kind of too late to get that ball rolling this year, but.
You know, if it goes good, we'll plan on approaching you guys about a series maybe in the fall or next year.
Sounds good. Motion?
Is
I make a
the
motion.
insurance, yeah, we got the insurance for it yet?
We do. Well, I have it, but we've obtained it through Randall Baker, so I'll send it over.
we have the requirement. We just didn't have the final signed document.
Well, this was make sure we had the insurance for it.
I make a motion to approve the lease agreement.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 6, thank you, Kyle. Item 6, discussion possible action on items related to sanitary sewer improvements, Mockingbird Ridge Drive, possible action on bids, and possible action on the award of contracts to Cook Consulting LLC of Fort Gibson in the amount of $149,000 and some change, and authorize Neil Harbaugh and Associates to execute all necessary documents upon review and approval of such with city attorney.
So gentlemen, the approximately 150, 149 some change was the low bid. And this is for the pipe bursting technique that we're going to use on the Mockingbird Quail Ridge, or would like to use, excuse me, on the Mockingbird and Quail Ridge sewer line.
Is it Quill Ridge or?
It's
is that
the
Ridge Drive? Is that
yeah.
Okay.
And what that'll allow us to do is that we won't have to remove fences. We will have to go into people's backyards, but just to dig a single hole to reconnect the tap versus having to dig a trench that entire block, and mess up everybody's fences, and then we would pay to replace those fences, et cetera, et cetera. This will allow us to avoid that expense and headache.
Kenny's Ward?
Oh, you want me? Okay. I make a motion to accept the bids.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
I make a motion to award the contract to Cook's Consulting.
Second.
Moody,
Yes.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 7, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest the Southall Municipal Authority certificate of deposit with local bank for 245 days at 4.05% interest.
Make a motion.
Second.
Mendiola,
Yes.
Bailey,
Yes.
Moody.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 8, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest the meter fund certificate deposit with local bank for 245 days at 4.05% interest.
I make a motion.
Second.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
Second.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. That'll move us right into our library authority regular meeting. I'm gonna call that meeting to order with a quorum. Number 3, possible action on minutes of regular meeting of November 10th, 2025.
What here? Oh, I'll make a motion.
Second.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 4, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest the South Saw Library Authority Tubb certificate deposit with local bank for 245 days at 4.05% interest.
I make a motion.
Second.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 5, discussion possible action on staff's request to withhold $25,000 of the library authority certificate deposit for the purpose of replacing the flooring at the Stanley Tubman Memorial Library.
So we have been deliberately just rolling this over and continuing to build interest on it. It's approximately $89,000. I asked the current library supervisor if she would like to continue banking that and building it up, or if we want to go ahead and do this and help them put new flooring in the library. She said the flooring is horrible, the carpet is horrible, and really wants to pursue the carpet. So this was, Julie Kleinlein agreed with this and requested that we fund this. And this was actually a deficiency when the EOLS, the regional library folks came down and looked at the building. This was a deficiency that we needed to address, was the flooring in the building. The quote that she had was old, but it was under $20,000. The 25 would allow for additional changes to the quote, bottom line. And then if we wouldn't go over 25, obviously, and any work that would come in over 20,000 would be brought back to you all for approval anyway.
I like it.
Need a motion on it?
Mm-hmm.
I make a motion to use a portion of the CD funds for flooring.
Second.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Item 6, discussion possible action on staff's request to reinvest the remaining funds of the South Saw Library Authority certificate deposit with local bank for 245 days at 4.05% interest.
I make a motion.
Second.
Moody.
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes. Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Second.
Bailey.
Yes.
Moody.
Yes.
Mendiola.
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Done, Ernie. You made it.